evening to everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Different News. AI, well, that's a buzzword, and everybody, we are either running behind AI or we don't understand AI. I have my fantastic, young, and handsome guest with me, Deep Kakkad, and welcome, Deep. Thank you so much for being on my show, and it's a pleasure to have you here. And thank you for accepting my invite.
No, likewise, it is my honor to be invited by you and to be here. I'm really excited to talk about everything you do, and then maybe a little bit about what I do.
I know Deep in a different way. Actually, I got him as my mentor, and he proves that sharing knowledge doesn't depend. I mean, age is just kind of a myth that we have in our mindset. So Deep is a fantastic teacher, because I have learned not once but more than, I think, 2 times, Deep, if I am not wrong. Just it's a formal introduction that I must do, because Deep's journey itself is a fantastic inspiration for all of us. Well, so Deep, I'll take few seconds to introduce you, and then of course I have a lot of questions to ask you being you an AI expert. Well, so Deep Kakkad, or Deep, is a serial entrepreneur and educator who's at the intersection of AI, finance, and business growth. Deep is the co-founder of Equity Research AI, where he is building an AI-powered equity analysis platform that makes complex financial data accessible and understandable to everyone. So, as an educator, like as I was just mentioning, I was Deep's student. He has taught over 750 sessions in partnership with Ivy League institutions, educating thousands of students on marketing, entrepreneurship, and digital strategy. He's been recognized as one of the top 30 game changers of India, featured twice on entrepreneur.com, and co-authored the best-selling book about growth hacking. Once again, welcome, Deep. I think you have not left any stone unturned.
Well, I try.
Yeah. So, Deep, my favorite question on this podcast to my every guest is to know about your journey, like where you started, because I know your journey a bit. If you would like to share your amazing journey with us.
Sure. Thank you so much, Dr. Kagi. Again, really excited, and thank you for this question. I love sharing my story, but I also feel a little shy because I don't come across someone who is boasting. So I try to not do that. But and this sounds a little cliche, but I literally stumbled upon into this whole thing of entrepreneurship by accident. So I started as this super naive 19-year-old who wanted to do something. And I was in my college. Based in India, I was in my college, probably second, third of my computer engineering. And then one day I saw that, hey, there's some hackathon happening in Malaysia.
Okay.
Now, like, okay, so I wanted to travel, and I come from a very, middle class family. So it's not that, hey, I had a lot of money to waste around it, but I somehow convinced myself, hey, I need to go to Malaysia. It's very important. It's life changing. What it was not. So I lied. You should not do that. But well, it did help. So I went to the hackathon. My friends called me crazy. Hey, who spent like a couple lakh rupees on just attending a hackathon, 24 hours hackathon, and then travels to a different country. So in hindsight, turned out to be a good decision. So in the hackathon, I created a project, turned out to be a good startup. In fact, I was somehow able to convince an angel investor to give me money to invest in the startup. And I had no clue what I was doing. So then I failed at that in a year or so. And then I kept creating new projects. And so I did not stop. I kept failing forward. I'd build something, it would crash and burn, and like, okay, what did I learn? And somewhere along the way, I realized that I was spending most of my time trying to figure out how to reach the right people, how to grow, how to scale. So basically marketing stuff. So I became obsessed with, finding people as a problem. Right. So it was easy to build, but it was really tough to actually get that thing in front of people.
Correct.
So I started spending a lot of time on growth marketing, psychology, persuasion, convincing, copywriting. I tried every hack, every framework, every guru's secret sauce. Well, let me break the secret to you. Most of it was garbage, but well, some stuff actually worked. And then AI came about, and I'm thinking like, okay, now I can solve so many problems I've been banging my head against the wall about. So well, the AI came into picture, but all in all, it started as a very naive 19-year-old. And then since then, I have started a few companies, failed at some, succeeded at some, took one company from $0 to $1 million in ARR in under 1 year. Ran a global startup accelerator, worked with a lot of investors, started educating and training, train now probably about like 800 sessions. And yeah, recently started one more company and hoping to get good stuff out of it.
Amazing. I mean, I just have, I mean, I fall short of words to appreciate you, but it's really, really amazing, the work that you have been doing and your journey. So I think what we say as failures, the pillar of success, but I think
Yeah,
I do have a different definition, just like you said that you failed forward. So I think it's more about experiences. So maybe experiences are the pillar of success that I would like to define failure.
yeah,
Yeah. So Deep, I have a lot of questions because, of course, I am myself very much drawn to tech, as you might know by now. I'm being your student.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
but at the same time, I think it's a very important topic that we are talking today in terms of AI helping businesses. And probably my questions will be more related to science businesses because that's the forte from which I
Yeah,
belong.
yeah.
Uh, so Deep, you have worked with several types of companies like tech or, of course, those are also science-driven companies. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, and you told about marketing. So with
Mm-hmm.
the rise of AI, what kind of trends or, what
Mm-hmm.
are your observations regarding marketing and how AI is being, playing a role?
Yeah. So AI is changing a lot of things, and it's very wide to see how it's changing things. For example, 3 years ago or 4 years ago,
Hmm.
the most of the brilliant scientists, or let me call them biotech founders, who I would see and be like, "Hey, Deep, we built this amazing thing, and
Hmm.
this thing could literally save lives, but nobody knows we exist." And that used to be a classic problem, and at some level, it's still a problem, right? Now, with AI,
Hmm.
it changes. They used to think that marketing is this dark art that requires hiring expensive agencies, or it requires you to have some innate, marketing gene that you have to be born with to be able to do marketing. But with AI, it's becoming more systematic. And
Right.
so with AI, no matter what background do you come from, you could be a biotech founder or a scientist or a CRO company, and you have no background in artistry, which is what a lot of people think marketing is, which in a way is true. You
Yeah.
can still with AI reverse engineer what good marketing looks like. And so I've seen founders who used to be terrified of writing a LinkedIn post. Now they're creating this, entire content strategies using just AI tools. So I think the shift is that companies, founders who are not from marketing background or are from any kind of technical background, they're starting to realize that marketing is not about being salesy. It's not about being fake. It's not about just, showing stuff up. It's about translating whatever your interesting, incredible science is into language that everyday humans can understand and can care about. So I think AI just makes this translation process way easier and way less painful and way less, way quicker than it used to be. This. There's a couple of good thoughts I have, but I'll pause there to see your response to that.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think AI in some way has definitely helped because, marketing is a thing, at least as much as I know, when we come from academic background,
Yeah,
lot of mental blocks when it comes to marketing, sales. We think it is not something that we should talk about and stuff like.
yeah,
But that's not the point. Like, I completely agree what you say. It's not about being telling something which is not true, but it is absolutely giving value
yeah,
through, the message or the work that I am doing. I must talk about it. So,
yeah.
I mean, I know that you simplify marketing in such a good way. No, I'm not just trying to, please you because you are on on my
Uh,
well, I have experienced that your classes.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I think me being absolutely, I'm not from marketing background at all, and also
Yeah,
from tech background at all. But the courses that I have done with you, I think it is fantastic, and it gives a lot of clarity. And suddenly, I get some more five ideas to implement, which makes my life easier. So
yeah,
that's the power, and I completely agree with you that you said that with AI many founders or many people who were not able to actually speak because not everybody can do that.
yeah,
That's okay. I mean, but that empowerment has happened. So I really appreciate AI in terms of increased productivity. That is something which
yeah.
I personally see. Is there any, suppose, for example, if there is a biotech startup, right, or
Mhm.
say any medical or science related startup. So now
Hmm.
the first problems when we start a startup, of course, you know best, that to set up something called as a marketing engine or a funnel. So is there some simple tools or some steps that you can suggest where at least, people can at least start their thought process there? Because with startups, the problem is initially we don't have lot of budget to spend to hire a big team of marketing and stuff. So that
Yeah.
really helpful. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good thought. So I'll give you tools, but I also complete what you were saying, which is
Yeah.
AI easily democratizes marketing, right? Gone are the days when you need $100,000 marketing hire to start your company, right? I'm
Mm,
seeing, and especially on Twitter, I follow this group of what we call indie hackers, right? So these are individual creators, individual developers, or individual entrepreneurs who, by choice, start as a solo founder, just
mm,
one person company, and then run it as one person company. They take some use of contractors, they probably have some freelancers, but they have a lot of systems and automations they use to run companies by themselves. And so they're
amazing.
using AI for research, for content creation, for personalization, for analytics, and the whole stack is just run by one person. And when I see this, it might sound like, hey, this person must be too exhausted because they have a lot of not to do, but look, that's not the point, right? They are able to run this company by themselves by spending the least amount of time that they can. So that's possible, and that has been made possible using AI. So that's there. Now, what tools should one start with? So I'll start with the basic one, and sounds cliche, but I see a lot of people not using ChatGPT. I see a lot of friction
Mm,
from people saying that, hey, I don't need AI. Why do I rely on AI? It's not for me. For everyone who still thinks that, I hope everyone listening to this, you are not the person. But if you are that person, well, take my word. Start with ChatGPT. It is incredible for, let's say, turning technical jargon into human language, right? So start with ChatGPT and maybe give it a couple of weeks
mm,
and then purchase ChatGPT Pro, which is $20 a month, but it has fabulous output.
mm,
There's ChatGPT for creative stuff.
mm.
There's another LLM called Claude that I use if I want it to follow any of my instructions. So ChatGPT is good at creative stuff.
Okay.
Claude is good at creative stuff with restrictions.
Okay.
And so if I want to say that, hey AI, write me an investor presentation, but here are five factors that you must follow and follow them as close as you can. If I have these instructions, I will trust Claude to follow it better than ChatGPT.
All right. Got it.
So that's first two, and then the third one, which will be more, I'd say more resonating to your audience's perplexity. So perplexity in ChatGPT deep research. There's two options here. ChatGPT deep research is where you can go and say, hey, I want you to research about, let's say, what are the top five concerns pharma companies have about outsourcing clinical trials. That's a very specific question, needs very deep research. If you go to ChatGPT deep research, it will literally take like 15, 20 minutes to go through like 40, 50, 60 different sources. It will give you a very long report, which would either take one human being a few days to do, or it would take an agency like a week to do. Right? Management consulting agencies or business consulting agencies would charge thousands of dollars for this. Now, ChatGPT Deep Research can do that for you in 15, 20 minutes. And if you don't like it, it will redo it. So that's another one. But again, these are the basics one. And then I have two more advanced ones. But before that, how do you feel about these two?
Fantastic. Like, we can't even hire somebody with $20
Yeah.
day. I mean, probably
Yeah.
for one creative, sometimes depending on what we are suggesting, sometimes we pay $20. That's like on a lower side for just maybe a designing an infographic, a complex one. So what you said about ChatGPT, I think I completely agree with you, because the last course that I did with you, I learned a lot from you there. Like you said, that for the deep research thing and creative part, I mean, this is very valuable. At least people who are not using it or they don't know about it still. There are many people who don't even look into it, like you said, in
Yeah.
the friction in mind. Yeah, I completely
Yeah.
agree. But I think
Yeah.
we do not, personally, this is my personal opinion, of course,
Hmm.
that if we do not adapt to what is existing, so
Hmm.
I mean that's foolish.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really bad. And if you don't adapt to AI, like this is the time I think for you to start learning AI and AI tools. In fact, when I see students, so I do interact and I do try to interact a lot with students who are deciding what course to take and what university to go to, and then hey, what other skills should I learn? Should I start doing marketing? Should I start doing? And I say, don't do any specific skill. Just go about learning AI tools for everything, and I think that's going to be the advantage or the edge that people will have over a lot of other people, right? So another question you asked about unsolicited advice, which is I see AI taking over all these specific tasks. And so AI can do marketing or will be able to do a lot of marketing. AI will be able to do lead generation. AI will be able to do writing. AI will be able to do research. So AI will be able to handle all of these specific tasks. So specialists of any one skill are going to face a hard time. But if you are a generalist who knows what all of these things are and has a set of guidelines and SOP on what should a good research report should look like? What should a good marketing tool look like? What should a good piece of content look like? Then you will be able to deploy your AI tools or AI agents which will do all of these things for you. So I think it's now time to flip the switch from being a specialist to being an AI powered generalist, which is what the next 10, 20 years will look like.
I love that term, AI powered generalist.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Absolutely. I mean that's amazing tip, and I think it is
yeah,
a nice suggestion and advice that you give, and it
yeah,
is very helpful for everybody. So,
yeah.
for example, Deep, when it comes to like say contract research organization in our field, or say any diagnostic companies, okay,
Hmm.
and they say product, for example, they want to like you were talking about automation, so they want to automate certain processes, say probably say I don't know, it might not be lead generation for them, but maybe for some other
Hmm.
things, maybe more of lead nurturing.
Hmm.
Can you give some ways or some suggestions that what could be the start point for this? uh,
Yeah. Hmm. So I'll give you two-parted answer, and this probably will be a little longer. So the one is the mindset shift that you might need, and then I'll give the technical answer. So I have seen, founders, and because we are talking specifically CRO or biotech or healthcare and
hmm,
science-oriented companies, these founders, right, you guys, probably, listening, people who are listening to this, certainly genius is what you do.
hmm,
And you can only explain gene therapy in your sleep. And the ones I have met who are extremely smart,
hmm.
I say, okay, this is great. You want to raise funds. Try
Ah,
writing a cold email to your investor, and then they freeze up.
hmm.
And it's not because they're not smart, they're amazingly smart. It's because they've been trained to be precise and trained to be cautious and trained to be, scientific. And for them, in contrast, marketing feels messy,
Correct.
right? And that's one reason. Another one is a lot of traditional marketing advice, right?
Hmm.
So when someone who's not into marketing tries to learn marketing, the first year of marketing information and education you get is pretty terrible.
Hmm. Hmm.
And so if you go and say, hey, I am a newbie marketer, or I'm a founder who wants to learn how to do SEO, you
Hmm.
start learning SEO, the first 10 books or first 50 articles or first 15 videos you'll watch will be worst things that you will never be able to actually execute. So
Absolutely.
one, it's already messy what marketing is and how it's done. Second, the first layer of education is pretty terrible, and it's very slimy.
Hmm. Hmm.
Now, saying that, it's very tough for founders in science to jump into this if there are no marketing or business background.
Correct.
So, as AI becomes the translator, you can literally feed technical research to it and say, "Hey, make this sound interesting to a biotech investor, whatever." Right. So that's that. Now, coming to what systems and what marketing engines can you build? Right.
Hmm.
So more technical answer is one, get the mindset shift. Know that AI is here to help you, no matter if you have the background or not. In fact, I'll give you one example. So I have business and marketing background. I have no science background per se or biology background per se, but
Right.
I recently started learning how does psychology come into play in marketing. So I've started learning about all the brain chemicals and
Yeah.
how does dopamine affect marketing, how does melatonin comes into play, and I'm finding it so fascinating. And the way I'm doing it is I've trained my AI that hey,
Hmm.
this is how I like learning. And when I say AI, I've trained just my ChatGPT. That this is how I like learning. Can
Right.
you teach me in this way? After you teach me a topic, ask me a few questions based on these answers. Understand what have I not understood and re-explain it to me with some different examples.
Hmm.
So then becomes so I'm also trying to shift from the messy part of things to more scientific part of things, and that's very much possible.
Hmm.
So have that mindset shift that you can jump from here to there to here. And then once you have done that mindset shift that you are capable of doing it, there's no need to freeze up. Here's how for a diagnostic setup or for a CRO or for a biotech company, for a healthcare company, health tech company, you know, First step is to take things slow and know that you will do this more gradually. Now, the easiest part and the easiest setup of using AI is
Mm.
to do it to gather market intelligence. And so, and I can go more technical, but what I mean by this is have an AI that monitors 47 different data sources. And for people based in the US, hey, what are the new SEC filings? Or what is the new clinical trial database? What are some of the new patent applications that are being done? And a lot of this is, of course, publicly available data, especially for the US, is what I know. For India,
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of ideas.
Mm.
For example, you can have your AI scout through Reddit forums where biotech employees go and complain about their jobs.
True.
So I would say that step one would be market intelligence. Find any trigger events or trigger moments
Mm.
when you think that companies might need your service. And
Mm.
so I take a pause, and then there's two more steps. But the first one is there's actually three more steps. The first one is have an AI look around on the internet what's happening in tens of different places.
Mm.
So I'll take a pause there. Any thoughts, any questions, or should I go to the next three steps?
No, no, please go ahead.
Okay,
Very interesting. Yeah.
thank you. So you gather market intelligence using AI. That's done now. It's ideally supposed to, again, this is technical and might need more explanation, but I'm giving you an overview, right? So this market intelligence will give you a list of, let's say, companies which might need your service, right? And that's, let's say, stored in a Google Sheet. And all of this is doable, right? So I'm not talking, smokes and mirrors. All of this is doable. It could probably done in like half a day if you learn some of the tools that I mentioned. That's
Correct.
it's possible. So look out for all of these trigger events. And then the second one is once you have this list of companies, your next step is to score these leads. And so not all companies or not all biotech companies that you have gathered through the internet who might need your service are equal. So you can train your AI to score all of these companies based on, hey, is this a new company or are they a big public company? Right?
Mm.
Or what is their team size? Right? Are they looking to hire more people for a specific role?
Mm.
So
Mm.
gather all of these details and then find out who are some of these high probability prospects. So first step, create a list by opening up your ears, scouting around the internet to find different trigger events that might mean that they might need your service, and then score these companies. And then here's something that I absolutely love doing, but a lot of people refrain from,
Okay.
which is personalized outreach, right? So most of the clients that I've had for my company, for my personal brand, either are through my LinkedIn, my personal brand on LinkedIn,
Yeah.
or me literally writing an email to someone who I have no clue about, I have never interacted with, who might have no clue about who I am, but I still email them. If it works, good. If it does not, that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
What you want to do is make it as personalized as you can. So all the leads you have scored, find the ones that are high probability and put, let's say, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, even an hour to write one human email to them.
True.
And so this is also important to switch from using AI to actually figuring out when do we need to be human or when do we need human inputs, right? So I'll say that use AI in scalable stuff, but using AI for relationship building is a dumb idea, at least yet. So writing outreach emails, I think, do it manually, find out everything about the company, write an email, and then keep doing that. And then the fourth step would be to, of all of this data that you have collected, what are people talking about, what companies might need your service, and what is the trigger event that you think might conclude that they might need your service. Use all of this to to create case studies. Now I'll come back to AI. Right? So you can use AI to create case studies, write white papers, create LinkedIn content, position yourself as an expert in your area, and uh, this is my idea of an engine you can create. So AI automatically scouts the internet every day, gives you 5 leads. You spend 2 hours to reach out to these 5 leads, create content. So that once these leads go to your website or go to your LinkedIn profile, you show up as someone who knows your stuff. And then this cycle keeps going on.
Correct. So amazing. Thank you, Deep. This is a mini crash course.
Sorry about if I'm speaking too loud, you can let me know that I take a pause.
No. But the pun was intended, but it's really very valuable thing
Thank you, thank you.
you said. So I think it is very useful for many people. At least for I know the people. I mean the sector that I'm into. So this is we are not exposed to this kind of knowledge because
Hmm.
on this we go ourselves with our own interest and we are learning. That's a different thing. But I think this has become like we say bread and butter. It has become something like when first computer came and people protested, okay, we can't leave writing stuff. So I think
Yeah.
I see AI in that way, and I mean the kind of stepwise things that you told now. I think it
Yeah.
is very primary. It's a green principle what you told for
Yeah.
reach out or building a database of leads. So I
Yeah.
think it's very useful for anybody who might be listening, not only people who are from field of
Mhm.
science or medicine
Yeah.
and stuff, but it
Yeah.
is green principle that you shared. Thank you
Yeah.
so much, Deep, for
Yeah.
that.
Of course.
Well, while you were speaking, because we are today we are talking so much about AI in marketing and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Just a question popped up in my mind that
Mm-hmm.
there are a lot of conceptions, misconceptions, myths, facts. So, what is
Mm-hmm.
what is the biggest myth that you have seen or commonly encountered when it comes?
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
That's a
Mm,
that's a great segue from what I was saying earlier. So it's very easy to believe that hey, all of my marketing for me.
mm,
And well, so there's two ways I think about it. Actually, technically, yes. And I'll not lie. Can AI do all of your marketing for you? I think you can spend a week to learn AI,
mm.
and you should be able to build systems where AI can do all of your marketing for you. So technically, yes, it can.
Yeah.
But should it is the question. Right? So founders think they can again flip a switch, suddenly have a full marketing department running on autopilot. I hear this daily. Founders think they can subscribe to ChatGPT and type, hey, do marketing. And suddenly they are the best marketer in the world. Again, you can, but I don't think that's a great idea. But AI is incredibly powerful, but it's not magic. So here's how I differentiate what AI can do and what it does not do. So it can make you 10 times faster at things that you already understand. It
Mm,
can help you scale what's already working. It can help you remove friction from any process that you have already built. It can amplify your expertise.
right.
Right? But here's where humans do better than AI is one, understanding your customers and their deepest fears.
Absolutely.
Right? How I explain what ChatGPT is, and I could be factually very much incorrect here, but I think this analogy will make sense to everyone. Which is ChatGPT is built upon data of around 1 million books. Right? So ChatGPT has not only read books, it has seen videos and been to forums and communities and articles and news and all of it.
Yeah.
But I did some calculation. It says that all of this data is worth 1 million or so books. Now, Now, I think knowledge or not knowledge, intelligence is a zero sum game.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
if you read something positive and you read something negative, it's neutral.
Yeah.
You think you have read two books and you're two books smarter, but I think that you are zero books intelligent. And that is how ChatGPT is, which is it's read a billion books, half a billion is good, probably half a billion is not good or has an opposite view of the first one.
Hmm.
So it knows stuff, but its intelligence is about neutral. So when
Hmm.
you go to ChatGPT and say, hey, ChatGPT, write a good email for me, ChatGPT has no clue what good email is,
True.
right?
Correct.
So the point is, AI, while having a lot of knowledge and data it's built upon, it does not understand what humans can do, which is it does not understand what your actual deepest fears are, or
Hmm.
your customers' deepest fears are. It cannot build authentic relationships. It cannot make strategic decisions. It cannot create a create a product with a product market fit.
Hmm.
It does not give a damn about your customer success.
Correct.
So the idea is that it's a myth that AI will do all of your marketing or AI should do all of your marketing. It could, but it should not. The companies that are actually crushing it with AI are using AI as a force multiplier, not a replacement.
Hmm.
So
That's a very
so
important thing that you told. Yeah.
right. So it multiplies, it amplifies what you do. It does not replace you. Right? So in fact, I dare to say that in most cases, and again, this is not applicable to everyone, and there might be outliers and exceptional cases, but
Yeah.
in most cases, if you cannot do marketing without AI,
Hmm.
you can do it with AI. Right? AI amplifies your competence. It does not create your competence. So start marketing. And when I say start marketing, I say the basics, right? Understand your market, know what kind of content does your market want and need and can read, what are their problems, how can you solve the problems, have the basics clear, and then AI amplifies it. So if you cannot do marketing without AI, you cannot do it with AI. If you can do marketing without AI, then AI makes it 100 times better.
Hmm.
So that's a myth, and I think everyone should understand that.
Amazing. So thank you, Deep, for that comprehensive answer. So
Yeah.
Deep, shifting from a little bit these AI-based questions because I think it's
Okay.
so
Yeah.
I am really interested because your career and the kind of work you are doing or you have been doing and
Yeah.
that you are doing with developing equityresearch.ai.
Yeah.
For me, it seems very varied. So, can you simplify and tell a little bit about what equityresearch.ai is and
Mhm.
how, what is your vision about it? If you can tell a bit about it, it will be fantastic.
Yeah, of course. So here's what it is, right? Since I started earning, well, a little late than I started earning, but since I got into the ecosystem of business, I understood the importance of investing.
Mm,
And as someone who now invests a lot,
mm,
I know how it works and how do you decide what to invest in. But I see a lot of smart people
mm,
who have a lot of money, and I say, okay, buddy, what are you doing with this money? Again, that's not me trying to be intrusive in their life. But if they're a friend, I care about them, and I say, okay, how do you feel about the money? What do you do with the money? Where do you invest? And in India specifically, I hear them say either it's in my savings account or in FD. And
okay.
for the international audience, that's fixed deposit, which gives you a specific amount of return. Let's say 6% a year.
Yeah.
Now, that's way too less than what you can earn if you invest in stock markets. But
Right.
of course, stock markets come with a lot of risk and a lot of education and information you need. And
Right.
this education and information is not that democratized.
Hmm.
So, with the idea that AI can democratize stuff, as I said, AI democratizes marketing, same way AI democratizes information that could be made more accessible.
Hmm.
So, in easy terms, for anyone who does not understand what to invest in or what stock, what equity to invest in, what equity research does is you can go there and say, hey, here's one company I think I like, but
Hmm.
what do you think, AI? So AI gives you a very plain English explanation on what does this company do, what does the financials look like. It gives you an English visual, easy understanding of all of these stocks. And then you're like, okay, this is good. But why is this a good company? I have 15 different questions. Okay, so we have a bot like ChatGPT on website, on Telegram, on WhatsApp, where you can go and ask a question and say, hey, here's the question. What what's your answer? What does AI think about it? Right. So, hey AI, is this a good company? Hey AI, I'm 18 years old and I only have 2,000 rupees to invest. Should I buy this company? So you
Hmm.
can ask any random question about the company, about the financials, about the technology, about the products, about the investing ideas. It responds. So that's the idea, which is make investing more accessible, more fun, more educational, more informative for no matter who you are.
Hmm.
And and so I also had some AI learnings here, which is when we started this, I built the prototype of this company. Again, I come from no programming background. Well, my bad, I should know. So I do have computer engineering in terms of my degree, but I was a very mediocre student. My focus used to be on my startup. I have a couple of semesters where I almost failed. So I have a computer engineering degree that is of no use to me right now. So I have not done programming since a long time. But
Yeah.
this whole platform and a working product of it, I built using AI.
Hmm.
So that's also possible for people who are not a coder, not a programmer. You can go to a lot of tools. I can name some. For example, there's one called Replit. There is one called Bolt.new. There's one called uh, Bolt, Replit. There's one more. Tempo Labs. There's my did I shout out? Okay. Sorry, I sometimes get excited to do that. But it's a third one called Tempo Labs. You can go to all of these and say, hey, here's my idea of a web app I want to build or a mobile app I want to build. And then it just creates it. So
Wow.
it's it's not just a landing page or a website, it's a working product. So
Never heard about this.
you should try it out. You can literally say that, hey, I want to build a directory of all doctors in India. Of course, you'll have to add your own data, but the part of it being a directory, people can scroll through it, people can sort, filter, people can create account, add their own name and add their own face and ID in the directory. So all the working parts of what a web app needs, it just builds for you in like 15 minutes. And of course, you keep iterating it, you keep improving it, but the time to market with web apps or online softwares is half an hour. It's
Hmm.
that crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is amazing. So, when is your next course on this? Please tell. I'm really
Well,
interested.
I'll let you know. I am planning one, but so I actually am planning one. I was planning one. The reason I'm doing it is because it's too easy for me to teach it. And I'm not exaggerating. It's literally you create an account and go and say that this is the web app I want. And
Hmm.
it gives you the web app. You just deploy it, you purchase a domain, you host it, and
Yeah.
then you keep iterating, you keep adding more features. Again, to add more features, you say, hey, this is X feature I want to add. And then it, of course, sometimes runs into errors. It's still not as
Yeah.
efficient as you want it to be, but it does the job.
Amazing. Amazing,
Uh,
Dev. This is gold.
thank you. Yeah.
So, thank you so much. I mean, I think I can talk with you whole day on this, but it will not be a good idea for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, well, if I tell you to tell some recent trends that you have been noticing, or probably any business, be it life science business or any other business, what is that trend, that you might be predicting for the next 12 to 18 months when it comes to automation or marketing involving AI?
Yeah, so the next trend, so there's this two. One is well, what I have been reading, and then it's okay, which is it's all about multi-modal AI, which is AI is expanding into not just text, but there's images and data and videos, and we see right. So there's this one from Google called Google VO3,
Okay.
and everyone should check this out. So Google VO3, and you find examples of this. So to reiterate, I think I started this really bad. But the first one is multimodal AI, which is AI that can do all kinds of all kinds of thoughts. So, for example, this Google VO3, it has created a video. So it creates videos. You can go and prompt and say, create a video of this. It has created a video of a stand-up comedian on a stage doing a joke. Now, here's the accuracy. The video has very clear person holding a mic. The audience looks like how it should look like from the perspective of a videographer. The joke is created by AI, and I think the joke goes like this. So the person says, hey, I went to a zoo and it only had dogs. So it was a Shih Tzu.
Yeah.
So I say it's a nice joke. And what I loved about this video is that it got all of this right. It also got this thing right, which is when you're holding your mic near to your mouth, when you breathe out, it has this typical voice, and not necessarily this digital mics, but these offline wired mics. When you breathe out, it has this breathing out sound. This video got that breathing out sound right.
My goodness.
And that is the accuracy we are seeing. So video is getting crazy. There's countless TTS, text to speech tools. One is called 11 Labs,
Yeah.
and you go there and say, hey, here's what I want you to speak out. It speaks out for you, and it sounds amazing. So all of these kinds of multimedia is being generated with a very good accuracy, and I think this is just the starting. What we'll see in next 6 months or next 12 months, that is right now will look like really bad, right? So that's crazy speed. This one, the one that I'm more excited about is AI agents. Right, so AI agents. Have you tried any AI agent tools?
I think I learned one, but I haven't
No.
experimented yet. Yes. I
Okay.
think of you only. Yeah. The real
Yeah. So there's this AI agent thing which is different from AI. So AI is where you go and ask a question and it answers your question. AI agents is where you go give a task and it does the task.
Yes.
Yeah. So these are not just, let's say, chatbots, but these are AI that can actually take actions. So I don't know, for your audience, right? Imagine an AI that monitors clinical trial databases and finds opportunities for you. It automatically drafts personalized partnership proposals for you, right? And all of this is easily doable with AI agents. There's one tool called Make.com, right? So Make.com is like a Lego block for automation. You can go and say, hey, these are 5 tools I want to automate. And so you bring, say, first tool is, let's say, email. So you drag and drop email. And you say, whenever I get a new email, and then you drop another tool. So whenever I get an email, go to ChatGPT, have ChatGPT read this email, write a response for that email, and then send that response to me on Slack, and send the same response to me on WhatsApp. And if I reply with yes, have that response already sent out. So these are AI powered automations where all the tools that you are using, you bring on this platform. and then bring AI wherever you need AI. And it could be any AI. It could be ChatGPT, Perplexity, any AI. It could be that you want this AI to create textual output, visual output. All of this is connected together and works by itself. So AI agents, I'll give you one more example. So there's one tool called Manus, and this literally blew my mind. It's called Manus. Manus dot, I
Yes,
think it's manus.im.
yes, yes, yes.
Have
I
you
learned
tried it?
that. Yeah, yeah. I didn't. I mean, I didn't. Try building that AI like that. I didn't try that, but I learned that in the last course that you did. It's
Right.
amazing. It's amazing. You gave that example, right? Like if every morning 10 a.m. send me this set of emails, and
Yeah.
it is going to do that automatically. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's better you say it. I mean, yeah. You please explain.
Yeah. Manus is so good. An example of Manus is, so there's some person who say that, hey, I want to do interior design of a 3 BHK
Mm.
house under 15 lakh budget. And so for international audience is 150,000 piece. So I will say that this is my budget. This is what my house looks like. And it has three bedrooms, one hall, one kitchen. Now, what this Manus did was it went to like 50, 100, I don't know, countless different websites. Say that, hey, for your room number one, which looks like this, you should get this furniture from this company, which is this size. It costs this much. And this is the reason why it would look good in this room. So this is the chair, this is the table, this is the dining, this is the price, this is the color, and here's the image of what it would look like, and it has links of all of these. So if you want to purchase this table, here's where you go and purchase it. This is the delivery. It has endless details. So for all the rooms, what should the end output look like? What company table should you purchase? What company bed should you purchase? What is the cost and why and how does it fit under your or your total budget of 15 lakh rupees? Right. So all of these websites, you can literally see models going to, hey, here's the first website. Now I'm going to this website. Now to the third website.
Yeah,
It's that good.
crazy. This is crazy.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's where we are leading.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Yeah, thank you, Deep. I think it's fantastic conversation, and I think lot of value through this podcast episode, particularly people who are not very used to the AI, or we some resistances we have in mind. I think today's podcast has definitely at least helped to give that light bulb moment for many people, at least for me, it's always very good to learn from you. And so Deep, before, I mean, this might be like my last question to you, because we talked
Mhm.
about science, businesses, AI, marketing, and whatnot. So, what's one belief? Because I think that is one thing which I also see in different, different sectors related to
Mhm.
the field I am. Talking about a belief or mindset shift, you think is, what is that one shift is very important, where, uh, people or science or business owners should do or need to adopt to thrive in this AI powered era.
Yeah. Okay. You asked for one. I'll give us two. If that's okay.
You're always like that.
So I impose how I want to do things on him. Sorry about that.
No, no.
I don't mean to do that. So and both of these are contradictory. But I love contradictions because that's how life is, right? It's not always that, hey, do it this way or take this path. It's sometimes, hey, take this path and then maybe take a small right and then take a small left. So it's sometimes you need to be in between. So contradictions. One is be very adaptive of AI,
Hmm.
and that's obvious from all the conversations we have had, because easily you will be left behind. In fact, I was reading this. There's this 340-page AI report that I read a few days ago. I did not read the whole thing. I fed it to AI and said, hey, AI, can you give me the interesting insights of this 340-page report? No, I'm not going to read all of it. So, one of the interesting insights was that, mm, and so I'm trying to recall because some numbers. So there's 400 percentage increase in AI jobs compared to last year. So 400% increase in AI jobs and 10% decrease in non-AI computer jobs. So AI jobs are increasing, but
Hmm.
computer or technical jobs without AI are decreasing.
Yeah.
So it's a very clear signal that you will need to know AI. There's no doubt. So that's one mindset shift, and the obvious one, given what we've been talking about, here's
Right.
the contradiction. And it might sound weird coming from someone who's literally building AI tools, but here it is. And it's not actually contradiction. There's some gray line between these. So learn AI, adapt AI, but your human expertise is becoming more valuable. It's
Hmm.
not becoming less valuable with AI. And
Absolutely.
so I see so many brilliant people getting worried that AI will make them obsolete. But that's backwards thinking. Right? AI makes your deep expertise more scalable and more accessible. It's not replacing the years of experience you have. It is not replacing your intuition. It's not replacing the domain knowledge you have built and the patterns you have created on all of this domain knowledge.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So stop thinking, how can AI replace what I do?
Ah,
And start thinking, how can AI help me, or how can AI help more people benefit from what I know? And that's the difference that that's the difference between someone who will survive versus someone who will thrive in the next decade. Someone who's afraid, well, that's tough. But if you think that AI will help you become more valuable, then that's the game that you want to play.
thank you, Dev. It was wonderful talking to you, and it's again my pleasure to have you on my podcast. And if there is one last message that you might want to give to people, because I think we have covered a lot of varied areas today in this very short time. And thank you for all the comprehensive answers and a lot of value, a lot of things we learned today. So, any one last message that you'd like to give to people out in the world?
Yeah, just say get started today. It's the first step that takes a lot of efforts. If you are still afraid, if you are still refraining from doing it, start today, and I'm sure that you will see the magic. And yeah, that's it. I think if I bored you by long answers, my apologies, and you can spam me on LinkedIn saying that "Hey, you could shut up more often, and I start to do that. That's my last message.
Amazing. Thank you, Deep, and
Yeah.
thank you everybody for joining in this fantastic episode. And I'm sure you have got a lot of value. And Deep, if anybody wants to connect to you, if you would like to share how they can connect, that would be very nice.
Yeah, LinkedIn is the best way. If you search my name, you will probably find me on LinkedIn, and I would love to hear from you guys. And if there's anything I can help with, feel free to message me.
Yeah, Deep has a very big following, by the way, on LinkedIn. Yeah. So Deep, thank you so much once again. And I think we need to do this kind of conversations more in the future as well.
Sure. Yeah.
I think, and of course, I don't know about others, but I am literally waiting for your courses and your upcoming things that you are doing. Of course, when it comes to learning AI, so I definitely look up to you, and I will wait for more courses from you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you for having me. Great questions, amazing conversation, and yeah. Likewise, I'm really excited and very, very interested by what you do.
Thank you, Dev. Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
And don't forget to subscribe this channel because I can bring more people, interesting people, and such experts on my show. And I'm trying to do that to help everybody and help myself, of course. Thank you. Bye, bye, everybody.